Debate calls Stephen Kerr.
Well, I really enjoyed this debate and all of the speeches. What a contrast from the previous couple of hours. And congratulate Alan Smith on his first members' business debate. And I hope this doesn't destroy his credibility with his colleagues, but I thought he gave a very good speech, such as it is, he says. But he gave a very good speech, and I think he and I are pretty aligned on this idea about brass nameplates. I think what's important is that we attract the investment to Scotland, and we both live in a place that is benefiting from that inward investment and the exciting future that Stirling has in this whole sector is quite mind-blowing, actually. I just would like to comment about Liam Kerr. The longer I've known Liam Kerr, the more I'm astonished at the depths and directions of this fellow's talents. I mean, I'm not entirely surprised he wrote a screenplay at 20 and sent it to wherever he said he sent it to, because nothing really would surprise me about Liam at all. But I thought some of the speeches that have been made, and especially we mentioned Michael Mara and Q Manavanan's speeches, highlight some of the issues. And indeed, the Deputy Presiding Officer, under your convenership, we conducted an inquiry in the Culture Committee at the end of Session 6, which I would recommend the report of that to members, because while there are many bright spots, there are also areas where I think warrant the attention of parliamentarians, particularly in relation to the direction of public funding. And I want to mention some other aspects of that report in my brief remarks tonight. But there's no question about it. Scotland's screen sector is absolutely one of our most exciting economic opportunities. And I know we don't measure everything in economics, but it does support thousands of jobs. It generates significant economic activity. And it showcases Scottish talent and creativity to audiences around the world, because, as Alan Smith said, this is a global sector, content-hungry, I think Michael Mara said, sector globally. Now, Stirling obviously will be mentioned by Alan Smith, and I respect the fact he's the member for Stirling, but I have a great love for Stirling too, and Stirling has a proud screen heritage. The historic landscapes of Stirlingshire and its locations have featured in productions such as Outlander, which is already mentioned, Game of Thrones, and dare I also mention Braveheart. And local businesses such as Combat International in the Falkirk area have played their part too, providing specialist expertise that those productions require. And building on that success, as is alluded to in the motion, is the development of Stirling Studios. 200,000 square feet of studio space, the prospect of thousands of jobs that could be transformational, not just for Stirling, but for Scotland. That would make Stirling genuinely the Hollywood of the British Isles. That's what we want. But what makes this particularly significant is how it all comes about, because there's a role here for government to play. The studios will be built on the site of the former Minister of Defence barracks. The land was transferred by the UK government, the Conservative government, through the City Region deal. There was another £19 million of levelling up funds that followed that, again granted by the Conservative government, which have helped prepare the site for development. And these decisions help unlock the major economic opportunity for Stirling and for Scotland, but they also demonstrate something that I know I've gone on about before in speeches I've made to this Parliament, that when our governments work together, when they focus on delivery and growth and investment, great things can begin. And Scotland has so many advantages. I've already mentioned location. It's been mentioned about creative talent. It's been mentioned about the growing international reputation that we have for high-quality production. But if we're serious about becoming a leading destination for film and television production, our next challenge is clear, and that's skills, which was highlighted in the report that we authored. Because throughout my business career, I've learned that investment follows talent. Studio space matters, infrastructure matters, but businesses invest where they can recruit skilled people, and that means strengthening links between industry and education. And I think we can do better in that area, because this is an industry that's about far more than actors and directors. It's about electricians and engineers and technicians and designers and builders, transport providers, caterers, countless small businesses. And that's where the wider economic impact can be felt, and that's why this sector matters. So I welcome support for the sector. I understand I'm past time now, so let me just say that if we get this right, which we have to, the rewards will extend far beyond studio gates in terms of creating jobs, supporting businesses, and driving economic growth in communities across Scotland. And if there's one thing I know that we can agree on, it's nice to have a debate where there's a degree of consensus like this, but there's also increased consensus in this Parliament in Session 7 that we need economic growth in Scotland, and this is a powerful sector to deliver that economic growth.